So when handling snakes, and I will say this is a wild rat snake, I just picked it up off this road. Hasn't tried to bite me at all. The best thing you can do is be calm. You don't need to grab it, you don't need to hold it behind the head or anything like that. You shouldn't be handling venomous snakes unless you're working with them for a research project and know exactly what you're doing. And so that aside, if you're working with harmless snakes, you shouldn't pick up a harmless snake if you're not prepared to get bit. You shouldn't plan to get bit, you shouldn't try to get bit, but if you are prepared to get bit and you're not that, scared of it, worried about it, chances are you'll be calmer, you can handle the snake calmer, and you won't get bit. As you can see here, this snake is making no attempt to bite me. I'm not restraining it in any particular way. I'm just letting it gently slide through my hands. And this is the trick to handling any kind of snake, whatever the size is. But especially with big snakes, you can just let them gently slide through your hands just like this. No problem whatsoever. The only adjustments you'll want to make is if you're doing a program, if you're doing a presentation with snakes, you obviously don't want the snake to be completely free when you've got kids coming up and putting their hands near it. Yes, you might be able to stay calm enough with this snake that it doesn't feel the need to bite you, but you never know what kids are going to do especially. So in that case, what you can do is restrain it gently a little bit. And what I usually like to do is kind of just gently get a little grab here, and then I'll just hold the head this way and push the rest of the body towards the people that want to touch it, and just let them touch the snake here. And I'm still not restraining him that hard, but I've just made sure that the head can't get anywhere near the hands that are going to be touching the snake, so that even though the snake is not held that firmly, it can't possibly bite the people coming up to touch it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Snake handling is not that complicated. A lot of it comes down to just staying calm and being non-threatening, and the snake will stay calm too. Some snakes, like this queen snake, pretty much never bite. Now that doesn't mean every queen snake will never bite, but most queen snakes are very, very reluctant to bite. Tell this is a queen snake. She's got these beautiful brown stripes down her belly, and she has this just kind of olive green to brown color on top, and kind of a cream tan color side and belly. Oh, and she pooped on me. So this is, if you pick up snakes, you got to be prepared to get pooped on. That is definitely a thing you want to be prepared for. Now, one thing to look out for, especially with wild snakes that are more likely to get nervous, is I've noticed, and I've been handling her extra careful, she has a bit of a lump here in her belly, and that almost certainly means she's got a meal. Interesting fact about queen snakes, they are almost exclusively crayfish predators, so that is probably a little crayfish in her stomach. But I'm handling her extra gentle, and I'm not going to handle her for very long because I don't want her to regurgitate that meal. So fortunately, this meal's pretty far down. If it was recent, there's a good chance she would have thrown it up. So if you can, avoid catching snakes or handling snakes that have big meals, especially meals that are higher up their body. And I didn't see it until I grabbed her, so that's something to look for. And if you have a captive snake, you probably want to avoid taking it out for programs a few days after it's eaten. Baby snakes, like this tiny itty-bitty little garter snake, which is very, very cute, have to be held very gently. They're very fragile little critters. And so you can just sort of let them crawl through your hands in whatever way you see fit. I never, ever, ever recommend doing any kind of a hold on a little snake, like holding it behind its neck or by its tail or anything like that. Just kind of, see, even there I was very gently holding it. Another thing you can do with baby snakes is just cup them in your hand like this. They can get nice and warm. The sort of darkness can calm them down a little. They're not seeing scary things. So this is a great way to just carry them around. And eventually you'll just start to feel them move a little bit less, calm down a little bit. And once they do, this one's not so much, but once they do, you can then gently open your hand up to show people. I don't know if it'll work with this one. Here we go. Nope, this one's on the go. But the key is just be gentle with little snakes because they're very fragile and most of them don't even have teeth big enough to pierce your skin. Snakes are gentle, inoffensive creatures, and the way we handle them should reflect that. So I don't really have any hard and fast rules or skills to give you about handling snakes, other than to emphasize you need to remain as calm as you possibly can and keep the snake comfortable. If it's comfortable, if it's calm, it will stay calm, and anybody watching will have a generally better impression of what these animals are.